welcome back to another episode of No Mute Button. Here in this episode, we're gonna talk about what happened in round two and what has happened in round three and our predictions for round three and some other NBA news.
So for in round
To
two,
start off,
you can go ahead. You can talk about the West
oh,
side.
okay.
I'll
In
talk
round
about the
two,
East.
we faced a pretty big upset. Not an upset necessarily, but like what it should have been more than what we got. The 76ers versus the Celtics. It definitely should not have gone to 5. What's your opinion on this?
You're lagging, but I felt like the Sixers could have had more, especially the way where they put who was it? T.J. McConnell in the starting lineup. I felt like that was a great adjustment by Brett Brown, but it was just that the players didn't have the killer mentality. Like Ben Simmons, he didn't have that mentality to win that game. Like players like Kobe, Michael, and LeBron. He just didn't have that type.
What I think is that the Sixers, they definitely performed better than everyone thought they would. Everyone thought probably like 6 to 8 seed around there. They end up being a third seed bounce in the second round, and that's okay because they're young, first time in the playoffs, they're getting playoff experience. But I do think that Ben Simmons should have performed better than he did. Like he scored 1 point in which game was it? Game 2 or 3?
Yeah, the amazing four.
He definitely could do more than that.
Okay, the Cavs Raptors. Is there anything to say really? The Raptors are just bad.
At this point, the Raptors fans, and I'm sorry, Raptors fans. Every year, it just seems like you guys think you're gonna beat the Cavs every single year, and every single year you guys get taken down
By LeBron James.
and it basically by LeBron only. Your two stars, Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, sure, they played better than they did in previous playoffs. Doesn't mean they played. What's his name? Jonas Valanciunas. They had 2 games actually where they could have won. They could have sent it to a 6-7 game series. And that. Some of it was bad luck, but some of it was because they were putting CJ Miles on Kevin Love. And honestly, that was a ridiculous adjustment to make in their defense, especially since they were getting bullied by him all series, and they just kept on sticking CJ Miles. And Kevin Love had a great series. Of course, LeBron, no one can guard. OG
He did a good job containing him.
Series and what?
OG tried his best to contain him, but the LeBronster couldn't be stopped.
Yeah, like he's a great defender for a rookie, but
at least he tried.
It's LeBron James, the Raptors, stuff's gonna happen there. They could have won Game 1 and Game 3 easily. The Raptors, they just choke in the clutch. This one's fault, but their own.
Kyle Lowry's timeout was like Chris Webber's, but worse.
And what I think is that Dwayne Casey, yeah, sure, he definitely has a case to make to get Coach of the Year for what he did in the regular season. He's a good coach to prepare game plans for the teams you're going against. But
once playoff pressure comes, he doesn't know what to do. With all this mumbly jumbly things, his rotations are whack. His matchups are whack. He doesn't know. But it's not really his fault that Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan can't show up, even though they have the same game plan they had offensively in the regular season.
In the playoffs, the DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, especially in the second round, they didn't shoot. They just relied. They tried to rely on their bench players to push them over the edge. And when you're going against the Cavs, you can't do that. You have to match what LeBron's doing because he's basically the only one on the Cavs that's trying to produce something. Kevin Love did have a great series, but Jonas Valanciunas also had a great series. he had him contained, not contained, but he matched the effort that he put up. Even though he had to go against Tristan Thompson as well, who was a great rebounder, had a great series. As Tyronn Lue, he did make a nice adjustment there by putting Tristan Thompson in the starting lineup because he was a big rebounding threat to Jonas Valanciunas. And I do think that that's one of the primary reasons they want to down low the big men on the Cavs. They just did what needed to be done.
Okay, so let's talk about the Warriors Pelicans. Boy, that was bad.
I'm pretty sure every game was a blowout by at least 10 or more, except for one game. And I think that was game 2 or 1. That series, it wasn't really much to say other than
Anthony
the
Davis should have been,
Pelicans.
or Anthony Davis should have had DeMarcus.
Yeah, like if what the Pelicans did this year, sweeping the Blazers and at least getting one off the Warriors, that's very impressive. And that should like let DeMarcus Cousins know, hey, you know, we can you can push us over the edge. We can become a real playoff contender, possibly make it to the Western Conference Final, and possibly upset the best team historically, like could be all time in the Warriors because down low the Warriors just can't keep up with Anthony Davis and DeMarcus at the same time.
The Rockets Jazz.
From that series, I definitely do think the Jazz they could have made a comeback in Game 5 easily, but Donovan Mitchell went down after a great third quarter in which he outscored the Rockets in that quarter. He had 22 points, and the Rockets had less than that. And Donovan Mitchell has proven why he should be Rookie of the Year, in my opinion, over Ben Simmons. He's proven to have that killer mentality that the great players have. He's taken the ball in the clutch. Ben Simmons, he's passed the ball in the clutch to JJ Redick, even Marco Bellinelli and Joel Embiid. He's just let them decide his games for him, and he needs to stop doing that. He needs to be like Kobe, like LeBron, like Jordan. He needs to take the shot upon himself, even though he may not be as good as Embiid. He needs to prove that he's going to be a star in this league. And Donovan Mitchell, he definitely proved that he's going to be a star in this league after what he did in the playoffs, knocking the Thunder out in 6 games, which was a big upset, and taking the Rockets to 5. And they could have won Game 5 easily if he didn't go down. And if they win Game 5, they get the momentum. They start to win Game 6, and no one knows what happened in Game 7. There have been multiple Game 7 where the road team has won, and we've seen that previous years in the playoffs.
What is it? Many people compare Donovan Mitchell to Dwayne Wade, mostly because they're like not undersized but short shooting guards. Donovan Mitchell being like 6'3", Dwayne Wade only being 6'4", and how their play styles are really similar, like driving inside the paint and then like just being aggressive and having that mentality.
And they're both very athletic. When Dwayne Wade was in his prime, he was known as the Flash, and that's for a reason. He was a very athletic player, and Donovan Mitchell, well, he just won the dunk contest, so I think that just proves his athleticism there. Wait, what's the other? Oh, that's it for the Western Conference and Eastern Conference, the semi. So now let's go on to the third round. Yep.
Yeah.
So what I've seen, let's talk about the East first. The Celtics versus the Cavs. Will, you're a Cavs fan. What's your opinion on the series?
It's all been LeBron. Not the first game.
Can you repeat that? You're kind of
like even J.R. Smith said that they need to help LeBron out. Like LeBron has been carrying them for numerous times, and then the supporting cast has done absolutely nothing in return for him. LeBron just needs to like his teammates need to be more consistent. Like Kevin Love is inconsistent. J.R. Smith is obviously inconsistent. George Hill, Rodney Hood, Jordan Clarkson hasn't been getting any playing time. They need to have better big men to counter with. Autistic could be like a good piece for them.
What I think is that do you know how much Tristan Thompson played in both games 1 and 2? Because I didn't see him in those clutch time minutes.
Yeah, why would they have Kevin Love on Al Horford when clearly you tried to like they tried to counter that by starting him, and then like when Al Horford was still in, they had Kevin Love on him.
Yeah, what the Cavs really need to do is they need to be able to stop the main players, their main scorers. Al Horford, he's gonna do every, and there's no one on the Cavs who can stop this monster, this all-star center,
I mean,
because
maybe
he's the one that would push the Celtics over the edge if they win. They need to stop the players like Terry Rozier. They need to stop Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Morris. They need to contain those players, and if they contain those players and have at least a decent night on offense, then they should be fine.
towards the second half, the defense was horrendous. I gotta say, the first
Yeah,
half looked good. They were hustling, and then for the second half, they just gave up. They didn't. They thought the game was over.
what I see in the what I see in the Cavs is that in the first half they feel like they're on top of the world. They feel like they're up by a lot when they're really not. Because and LeBron gets really tired. He scores a lot of first quarter points in every single game of every single series, and that wears him out. And that's when they become up by 10. But after they start slacking because LeBron needs some rest, that's when the opposing team would come back, really like just take over the game. They need to put more. They need to play more. They have to stop putting all their energy in the first quarter and spread it out, because the most important quarter is the third quarter, in my opinion, and that's why the Warriors win games, because their third quarter offense. They're the best third quarter team in the league, and that's primarily why they win games, because teams out of the half they start slacking because they're tired, they're late, and teams that play smart, that have that energy and stay consistent throughout the whole game, they can come out of the half, and that's when you can really take big lead, and that's when the third quarter is the most important.
So the Rockets and Warriors.
Yeah. Do you have any input on that series?
I feel like if the Rockets keep up with what they did, like play good defense, making the Warriors get turnovers, fast paced offense, passing the ball around, they have a serious chance. Not serious, a decent chance of beating the Warriors. Not saying that's a good high chance, but a decent one. I feel like it could
Yeah,
be like who knows. This could be the first time that the Rockets make it to the finals.
I kind of agree on the fact that they do have a slight chance, but I do not think that they would make it to the finals. Um, the Warriors, they just have too much firepower, and the Rockets, if they play, they will not if they will play like they played in Game 1, where they'll just have an off shooting night. They're one of those teams that if their shooting is not going well, then they're because they rely on their shooting. And Harden, he didn't even have a great game. He shot pretty bad. It's just that the shooters like Eric Gordon, he had a great. Trevor Ariza, he had. Gerald Green, I saw him hit some shots.
PJ Tucker,
Those
PJ Tucker with 22. James
exactly.
Harden 9 for 24. He was 3 for 50. At this point, he's like chucking up threes. I don't know why he's doing this, but like Chris Paul's there too, 6 for 14. He's just breaking Curry's ankles.
Yeah, it's honestly in game two. What I saw from the Warriors is what I've never seen. Is what I've seen a couple times, not many times throughout the season. they became lazy. They became lack. They just didn't seem like they were into the game. They felt like all they needed to do was win one game on the road, and that's it. Well, we got the series advantage now, and that's not the case. You need to try to win every single game, and I didn't see that from the Warriors. They weren't trying hard enough. Kevin Durant, he had a great game in game two. He seemed like he was the only one trying.
I
Steph
mean,
Curry not taking any
he,
shot.
I mean, and if he did, it was break 1 for 8. We know he could do better.
Exactly.
Klay Thompson 3 for 11, bad shooting night. Draymond Green stuff 6 6 6. That's his stat. 4 turnover. Kevin
Yeah,
Durant had
but
a
what
lot
I
of
saw from
the way that,
what I saw from Jim. Go ahead.
oh, okay. So Kevin, no, what the Rockets did was like play good defense, right? You haven't heard of that, but like this forced the Warriors to get like 9 turnovers in the first quarter, right? Wasn't there like
All right.
so like they got like
But what
fast break points.
I think that it was. I think it was more than the Rockets playing good defense. I think the Warriors, they were just playing bad. They didn't make the right decisions, especially Draymond Green. He got a couple turnovers, and I would just like to see more effort from the Warriors, and not just that they think they can win everything. Because last time they became too cocky, they blew a 3-1 lead. So I don't want to. I want to see an interesting series where all the players play hard,
Uh,
and not just one of them plays hard and then the other three all stars they just don't try. I don't.
oh, what is it? The Warriors they got salty even though it was their fault that they weren't trying. So like, I don't know what was the point of pushing the Rockets players, but like it was their fault that they did it. They weren't doing good. So like if the
But
Warriors
what
keep
I want is what I think will see the rest of the year. Draymond Green eventually he will get into the Rocket players like he did in game one. The players they couldn't do anything, and after and because of game one, the Warriors now have home court advantage, so home court advantage away from the Rock. And I predict that the Warriors will 6-7.
who knows the Rockets could steal a game from the Warriors, but it all depends on how the Warriors play at their own home court.
I think they'll win both games just because of the fact that, first of all, fan encouragement. People don't understand how important the fans are to the players. When the players on the opposing team on the when they're on the road, they will be booed by a bunch of people in the crowd, and that affects their game. That affects their mental strength. And when the Warriors players, when they make a shot, the crowd goes wild, and that can upgrade or help their mental strength.
Who knows?
And if if the
Okay,
if the
so
Warriors make 3 shots in a row, then that's when you know it's over.
okay, so what is it? If the Rockets not blow them, but like do really well in the first quarter, we know basically half of the Warriors fans are gonna change jerseys, and then be on the Rocket side. You know what I'm saying?
No, I really don't.
Bandwagon. Anyways, should we talk about the draft?
Warriors fans, you may call them bandwagoners, but they are loyal as hell. They will not leave the Warriors.
Well, some of them.
Right now, they're gonna be loyal as hell.
I mean, the loyal fans will
They
be
can.
obvious, but like the unloyal fans will also will be obvious too.
The unloyal fans are the ones who aren't watching the games. They just claim their word. The Warriors fans that are in the stands every night, the Warriors fans that watch the games continuously, different channels, the ones that even go on websites, those fans, those are the ones that really empower the players. Those are the fans that make the players play better, and those are the fans that will win the Warriors series.
So, okay, let's talk about the draft now.
Sure.
So the Suns won the lottery. So
That's the first thing they've won in quite a while.
so what could they choose? People mock drafts say they could get Doncic, yeah, but I feel like that's not a good fit.
DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, they need a what is it?
DeAndre Ayton.
They need a future star, which could be DeAndre Ayton. They don't want another wing player who's slow on defense, slow footed, but like, you know, defensively like
Yeah.
limited. They already have Devin Booker, who's already a good scorer and a decent playmaker. So like, they need a big
They
man.
don't need another. And what I think is that out of the players in this draft, Luka Doncic, his bust potential has to be the highest out of everyone, other than Trae Young, of course. But Luka Doncic, he came straight out of Europe. He averaged 16 points, obviously very impressive, but he has the highest bust potential in my opinion because
He's European.
maybe he won't be adjusted to the way the league is played.
The pace of
Overseas,
he won't be
maybe a
used to the
different
pace
style.
of the league. Since everyone in Europe is like a step below.
DeAndre Ayton, of course, he would be a good fit. They need a big man that can and grab rebounds and play defense. And DeAndre Ayton, he averaged two blocks in the game, and he averaged 11 rebounds, 20. And overall, he's just what you need in a future big man star. He's the type of player that can push you over the edge in your team. He can be that last, like Joel Embiid is the piece. Ben Simmons.
So since
It's
I'm a
not
Cavs
necessarily-
fan, oh yeah, okay. Since I'm a Cavs fan, I'm gonna talk about the Cavs pick, which is the 8th. So like, what could they get off of this pick? Could they possibly
Trae Young.
trade it or like keep it and get like a guy like Trae Young?
In my opinion, it depends on how these playoffs. If they lose before the finals to the Celtics, they need to blow everything up. They need to send LeBron away, get Trae Young. They need to get someone with a promise. And the draft combine is coming up, so maybe they could scout some people there.
Yeah.
So it depends on how these playoffs go. If they make it to the finals, push the Warriors very far, then they should trade that. They should trade that pick to get someone to push them over the edge and possibly.
I feel like the Cavs Cavs pick isn't like in an awkward situation. Like you don't really get like the best, like you don't get like a top 5, but it's not like you can get like some steals off the in later picks. So like it's kind of a iffy situation, and they don't know what to do with it because LeBron's decision will change everything.
But no matter what the pick is, it just depends on how the playoff. If you want to center this team around LeBron, but that's only if he can only do so much. And if he's gonna leave after this year, then you might as well build a team for the future. Like, they drafted Kyrie a couple of years ago, 2011, and they should try to get one of those players, and that could really change their future. Because
Who knows?
LeBron, he's getting up there in age, and he's gonna want to start winning. So I really don't think he's gonna want to stay in Cleveland if they don't.
I mean,
make
Trae
some
Young.
moves.
If LeBron stays, Trae Young could be the secondary ball handler that LeBron needs. Like most great teams right now, they have 2 ball handlers. Warriors have Curry and Durant. The Rockets have Chris Paul and Harden. The Celtics, I don't know. They look like they can have everyone at point guard, so I don't know about that. But they have multiple ball handlers, which like doesn't give you a lot of stress on the offense. With this, maybe maybe LeBron will put more effort in on the defense. Who knows?
well, in my opinion, I don't think they should put the two pieces together. They don't work out. If you want Trey Young, a point guard like Trey Young, for example, then you would want him to take as many shots as possible. You want him to develop. You want him to make his shot in the NBA. You want to give him the opportunity as much as you possibly can. And if you have LeBron, he's gonna take away from Trey Young. He's not gonna take away, but he would pass, of course. But Trey Young would be in the sort of spot up shooter role that Kevin Love playing with LeBron. He wouldn't be as valuable as he would be if LeBron wasn't on the bench. They just let him develop.
Oh, what is it? The award finalists came in recently, so let's talk about that.
Oh yeah. Can we start with Coach of the Year, because I feel like there's a decent amount to talk on that topic.
Well, other than MVP,
especially since the coaches voted on who they think that should win Coach of the Year, and that could have a very high influence on what the media and members of the NBA choose for this award. And they gave it to Dwayne Casey.
I mean, I don't really blame him. Blame the decision, but like I feel like it should. Brad Stevens was more deserving of it, considering how up and down the Celtics season were ever since Gordon Hayward came down, bunch of injuries. Kyrie went down later on. Didn't Al Horford get injured? Marcus Smart also got injured. Everyone just got injured.
And also the fact that Brad Stevens got no votes from any coaches, that's disrespectful. He's the best coach in the NBA right now. Other than, of course, Popovich. He's the greatest coach of all.
I can't believe how humble he was when he didn't get a vote. He was like, I don't think I deserve it at all or something.
That's being humble. Brad Stevens is a humble person, and he's only 42. He scares the other coaches. They don't vote for him because they're scared. He's only like 42 or 41, and he's already the second best coach in the NBA. He's a great coach.
No matter what, Greg Popovich will still be number one.
I listened to a podcast like this. It was about this topic too. What separates a good coach from a great coach are those in-game adjustments. Dwayne Casey is not a great coach because of that. He's not good at doing those in-game adjustments. Brad Stevens, so he's one of those great coaches.
Okay, MVP.
James Harden.
I mean, LeBron will get some votes. He'll probably be. It'll probably be like a, I don't know, 60-40 split. It's not exactly 50-50, but it's not also as bad as 75-25.
But I do think Harden would deserve to win again.
I mean, LeBron does have a legitimate case for this season. I mean, I don't think Harden will win unanimous.
Of course, he has a case, but in any other season, he would have a case. But this year, I don't think Harden should be.
I mean, that doesn't mean that it takes away LeBron's skill in the regular season. Like he also deserves it too. But like, Harden deserves it more. After all he's been through.
It's like this 2013 situation where LeBron had a dominant season. He completely destroyed the NBA. He should have gotten unanimous MVP that season, but then there's always that one person.
Melo. I was a Melo fan.
And I just think it's going to be the same case this year. Harden, he's going to get the majority, and there's always going to be those one or two LeBron fans that are just going to vote for him, even and they have a reason to. He had a great season. He averaged career high in assists and rebounds, I'm pretty sure. and he's in his 15th season, and that's a legitimate case. But I just think that Harden should win unanimous.
I mean, the majority vote at Harden will probably get it. Maybe it won't be as lopsided as you said it would be. I don't know.
It definitely won't be lopsided, but I'm just saying.
It depends on the voters, what they think of it, what they think would happen, or what they think is better. Okay, so most improved. I don't have to say anything. Oladipo. He's been a killer.
Oladipo, like,
he's been an absolute killer. Like mentally, he was really strong. That mental game was shown in the Cavs series, where he was able to take the Cavs without being scared, even with like the lack of playoff experience, because he only played like 5 games last year.
Yeah, pretty much, and he bounced around the league, but he really found his home in Indiana. He has a pretty decent team around him. Sabonis could turn out to be a great player in the NBA, possibly an All-Star. I don't think so, but
Lance is a good mentor for Oladipo. It can like what Lance does can influence Oladipo to be scrappy like him. Not trash talking like him, but like it shows he can put effort in like loose ball 50-50 possessions.
And overall, Lance Stevenson, he's one of those players that you need on your team. I heard LeBron say once he would love to have Lance Stevenson.
Oh yeah, like how he plays. It's like Marcus Smart.
LeBron hasn't seen one of those players on his team in a long time, and even though him and Lance Stevenson they get into arguments, LeBron would like that player on his team that steps up for the team, gets the mental edge over the opponent, the player that gets into their heads and wins from there.
What else? What other awards? Donovan Mitchell, Rookie of the Year. Ben Simmons, he did great, but I feel like Donovan Mitchell had better ones. Like I know he was consistent, Ben Simmons, but like it wasn't like out of this world type stats. And then Donovan Mitchell, didn't he average 20? Like he's one of the, like out of 5 people to do it in their rookie year.
To average 20 as a rookie?
Yeah. And also lead them to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, he also averaged like 28 in the playoffs.
And it was in the West too, where they lost Gordon Hayward. No one thought they were going to make it to the playoffs. A lot of people thought the Sixers could make it to the playoffs, which they did because of Embiid's rise and everyone and what they got in free agency. But like, the Jazz were a surprise.
And also, what I think is that Donovan Mitchell, he outplayed a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He scored on him time and time again. And who I'm talking about is Paul George. Paul George was assigned to Donovan Mitchell, and it should have been an easy task for the veteran because Donovan Mitchell, a rookie with no playoff experience whatsoever, but Donovan Mitchell averaged 28 in the series, and he's the reason why they won, of course. And that alone should have him win Rookie of the Year because Ben Simmons, he's getting carried by Joel Embiid in the playoffs.
What was it? People consider Anthony Davis, or Joel Embiid, or Rudy Gobert to be Defensive Player of the Year. I don't really see Rudy Gobert in there. It's not that he's bad at defense or anything. It's just he's been injured for most of this season, like missing out on the first 20 games.
I would still give it to Gobert.
Yeah, I mean he can get it, but like the Rocket series, like a coach, I saw a video. He made a good point about like Rudy Gobert sticking into the paint, not guarding or like helping out on the perimeter. Like he would just leach into the paint because he's a paint protector. That's what he's supposed to do. But
that makes he's the anchor of their defense. He's supposed to play inside.
But like when it's like a 5 out, like what is he supposed to do then? Like he can rotate in. Out. He has the quickness, doesn't he? And the
To
length.
outplay 5, you need to play. You need to play zone defense, and Gobert, he's perfect for zone defense. He can be the anchor in the middle, and
Oh, what
the
if they run small
team needs
ball?
to start zone.
Small ball.
But when you have a defensive player like Gobert, who's not as agile, but he will block your shot time and time again, you need to have him in the paint. You need to have him block all of Harden's shots, all of CP3's shots, all of Capella's shots, all of Eric Gordon's shots in the paint.
I would vote for Joel Embiid just for the memes. Cause he's he's the best.
All these players, they're really good at defense, but I think that Anthony Davis should get it. Gobert should get it if he played more games, but Anthony Davis should get it for the fact that he can guard every position 1 through 5. He can keep up with. He can He can guard your center. He will switch every time just to guard your best player, and he will most likely clamp them.
So, is there any irrelevant news that we've been getting that's not about the playoffs, like um, coaching change and all that?
Not that much, no, I don't think so.
Oh, people say that Dwayne Casey got fired, but they also say that he won the coach of the year. So like, I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, some people, they were kind of confused as to why they fired one Casey, but I'm really not that confused. The Raptors, I think this is a step in the right direction. Their GM, I think, is trying to rebuild. After what he saw this, he should just try to blow it all up. Send DeMar DeRozan off, send Kyle Lowry off, send all the players.
There's been news about trading DeMar for something too.
Yeah, because they just need to blow this whole thing up. It makes no sense to keep them the way they are. They're just gonna get swept by the Cavaliers with a team that's not even that good. Even if they're the first, they get swept by the fourth.
Oh, let's talk about like Kawhi. How that's gonna go out.
What's your opinion?
I don't know. I feel like the Spurs are trying to trade him, but they want to keep him. I don't know what's going on in Kawhi's head, but like it's not good for the Spurs.
I think they should. This is going to be the time that the Spurs need to rebuild. Their players have come to that age where they just need to relax. RC Buford, he's a genius coach. He's a genius GM, is what I meant to say, and he's starting to realize, I think, the value in rebuilding. He hasn't rebuilt. Has he even been the GM for 20 years? I don't think so. So he's been a part of this organization for as long as they've made the playoffs, and they've made the playoffs for 20 years consecutively, and that's 21 years consecutively, and that's an impressive achievement, especially since the players that they have are pretty much about to retire, and they should just, at this point, I think it's time to stop.
Who knows? Greg Popovich still might somehow finesse his way to the playoffs. He's that great of a coach.
Of course. He's Popovich. He will find a way, and especially with LaMarcus Aldridge, but I think in a year or two they should just, restart. They have a nice young piece in DeJounte Murray who could turn out to be an all-around point guard. He can rebound the ball. He's tall enough to score in the paint and post up smaller guards, and he's a pretty good playmaker.
Okay. Got any other things to say? Topics?
No, I think that's a wrap to our episode 3 or 4.
3.
All right, we'll see you in the next one.